Hey everybody, it's Rex the Dog, and I'm here to talk about this game right here, Wild Assault. So maybe you can see over here, I've put in over 4 hours playing Wild Assault. It's gone through they had like a pre-alpha test, and they've also continued the pre-alpha with a free-to-play weekend, which is aligning with the Anthro Arts Festival, which they're doing on Steam. So I've been hanging out and I've been playing Wild Assault, as I said, for a fair amount of time to sort of get an impression of the game. And what I wanted to do today is I wanted to talk about the game and, talk about some of my impressions of playing the game, the 4 hours I've spent with it. And I also want to have a little look at some of the stuff the developers have been saying. So what is the game? Well, you can kind of see some of the footage, that's happening over there. It is a third-person, sort of tactical hero shooter in the style of, maybe that's a little bit too big, in the style of something like Battlefield. You have in the pre-alpha, the demo version at the moment, there is a number of different types of classes. So you've got like these tank characters, you've got these ones they call expert characters, they've got medics, right? So there's a number of characters. Let's have a look through these kind of screenshots that we've got here. So we've got this character here. This is our Tiger. He's got himself like a machine gun. You've got your bunny medic character here, the wolf, who acts as a sniper. We've got the bunny again, this skunk character who's got like, she's got a bunch of like, mines and like bombs and stuff she can throw. I was having a lot of fun with her, and she's got like a scoped weapon as well. So I was really enjoying playing with her. But yeah, I've put like 4 hours into this game, and I'm not exactly a big connoisseur of the, either the hero shooter or just online third-person, first-person multiplayer games in general. But I feel that this game had a lot of charm to it. There's only one map at the moment, and you've got 6 or so heroes, which I think for at this stage is quite a selection. And it is in pre-alpha, but I think the game already looks pretty good. I think there's a lot of charm. The real unique thing from it being sort of these anthro-furry characters is they've got their sprint, and then they've got a double sprint. And when they do that, they go on all fours, and they start galloping. That's really, really cool. Some of the ultimates they're getting in there, and they're using their claws and stuff like that. There's a lot of personality to it, and it's something that's pretty unique to see a game of, I think, this sort of quality that is deeply ingrained in sort of like anthro and furry art. So I enjoyed the time I spent with it, and I'm interested in checking more of the game out and supporting it as it develops and moves into its beta and it finally goes gold and day one patch and all that sort of thing. But right now it's gonna be pretty interesting. I think the character designs are pretty cool, and I think when they start adding more heroes in, they start adding more skins in this as well. I think there's going to be a real big opportunity for, furries or regular players to kind of express themselves by picking these different characters. So I've been really enjoying it. I've been playing it as a part of this, which we have at the moment. As I said, it's the Anthro Festival hosted by Clace on Steam. And for this weekend, where they've got a bunch of deals on, furry-inspired and furry-created games, this game's demo is open again as a community event. So we only got one more day left of this, but if you have the time to stop by, maybe you do want to check it out. So, getting back to the game here, I was interested to have a look at this alpha test Q&A, which is what they did a few weeks ago. They did this at the end of May to talk about the the alpha tested it. So I thought it'd be interesting to read through this, have a look at it, and I can kind of give some of my opinions about what I've experienced with my 4 hours of the game and how it reflects to what the developers are saying about it. So here we go. So we've got, hello everyone, I am Latin, the producer of Wild Assault. 2024 has been amazing for Combat Cat, the developers. We successfully launched the International Super Alpha test and had a blast with our loving community. After years of development and months of preparation, we managed to present to you the initial idea of the furry hero shooter we've been dreaming about. Based on your feedback, I believe it's safe to say that Wild Assault is on the right track. I agree, although it hasn't completely satisfied everyone yet. I'd like to thank you all the Alpha Test players. You are welcome. Your support and enthusiasm has strengthened our resolve to make Wild Assault the best it can be. We've put your names on a Wild Assault poster we shared on social media earlier. Remember to look for your names. Combat Cat Studio is a relatively new and small team. Our initial ideas weren't very ambitious. Frankly, our original intention was to create a game that our team would enjoy playing. Everyone on the team, including myself, has always enjoyed first-person shooters, third-person shooters. We wanted to create a unique creative game that didn't follow the mainstream, something small yet beautiful. The alpha test was totally beyond our expectations. We didn't believe we could have caught this much attention. Seeing so much community feedback, players saying how much they love Wild Assault and recommending it to their friends, streamers enjoying Wild Assault with chat on Twitch, all of this has touched me deeply. Here, on behalf of Armed Cat Studio, I want to thank each and every one of you. We will take your suggestions seriously and work hard to improve the project. Now allow me to answer some popular questions about what's next for Wild Assault. So, map. Are there any new maps besides Operation Mojave? This is one of the most frequently asked questions. For a long time, we only had one map available from an experience, the Operation Mojave. I know it's been tough having only one map to play for such a long time. To be honest, creating a map requires a lot of work and creates a lot of time. It is the most time-consuming module among all of our tasks. From concept art design to level structure design, model building, etc., it takes at least 5 months for the studios to complete a map. Now, I can tell you that our second map is already in the mid-production stage. We have previously invited some players to help with QA testing. That is cool that they're bringing in people to do that. The theme of the new map will be very different from the Operation Mojave, and we're working very hard to speed up the process so the map can be released to everyone as soon as possible. Additionally, I'm glad to let you know that the third map is in the concept designing stage. Well, that's great. Obviously, something like that, that's not a criticism of the game. You know, that is just where it is in its production pipeline, where it is in development. So the fact that they're working on maps, I feel is obvious, but it's good that's been addressed because some people might, get seemingly the wrong impression. There are a lot of bugs in Operation Mojave. The map needs a major fix. We received a lot of related reports during this test, including issues with the mantling, problematic rock objects, respawning underground, vegetation, and barriers that block bullets, inconsistent cover collision, and the ability to reach prohibited areas. We're working on a major fix for Operation Mojave. It requires a lot of work. For example, collision issues are difficult to fine-tune using engine-generated collisions, so we need to manually optimize them, which takes a very long time. Additionally, our level designers also need to focus on creating new maps, so please be patient, and we couldn't thank you enough for that. As producer, I assure you these issues will be resolved ASAP. So again, they're taking these sorts of things seriously. I'm sure they would. It seems like the people developing this game legitimately care, right? They legitimately care about the project that they're working on, and this is stuff that's going to take time based on the scale of the team and the prioritization of what they're working on. Gameplay. Running on all fours is very interesting. Agreed. But it's not smooth enough switching between tactical, sprint, and shooting. I can't comment on this because I'm bad at these games, and I'm still actually getting used to using a keyboard and mouse. But I think that the idea of having and trying it out and doing it, the sprinting on all fours is so cool. It is so cool. That's like stuff to like have in your trailer. You know what I mean? To like, oh, whoa. Right? That is cool. The 3C, character, camera, and control, smoothness is one of the core experiences of shooter games. An excellent 3C experience should be a solid foundation for Wild Assault. Our studio members have had a lot of experiences with that over the last few years. The tactical sprint is one of our many highlights in Wild Assault. It is. and they're gonna know that, man. It is also more challenging for us to handle compared to similar functions in traditional shooter games. Pardon me. In which characters never run on all fours. Additionally, since Wild Assault is a TPS shooter game, we also need to balance the smoothness of controls with the rationality of actions. Therefore, improving the 3C smoothness will be an ongoing task for us. We will be focusing on the following aspects. Smooth transition, interruption, sport, tactical sprint, and shooting combat. Makes sense. If you can just, like, get between those, that's going to feel, like, so good. Interruption support for jumps during tactical sprint to minimize player frustration. Okay, I haven't really experienced that, and I'm not super sure what that's referring to, but I was trying those little leaps while I was doing it. But I'm not sure what the meaning of interruption support is. Smoother transition between tactical sprinting and hip firing. Cool. So you can be like, and then sick. Smoother transition between jump and land, tactical sprint, and shooting combat. I was frustrated with mantling and Wild Assault. Speaking of which, I can't remember how many times I've been turned into Swiss cheese because of failed mantling attempts. I believe those who have provided feedback on this issue can relate. The issue is caused by two factors. Firstly, our mantling detection algorithm and related parameter configurations are clearly not good enough. Secondly, to resolve the problem of climbing occurring during jumping, we've implemented stricter restrictions. We will reassess the algorithm logic and parameters for mantling. At the same time, we will incorporate the feedback from everyone to meet different needs as much as possible, such as potentially supporting separate keys for jumping and mantling. These guys they're going at it here. They're talking. They're communicating. And they clearly, like, they're addressing things straight on, just like, that's not good enough, this will change, this needs looking at, this needs adjusting. Sick, man. This is how you build up, like, a really solid community, for real. And people who will just, like, keep coming back to support your game. Due to our limited production, we need more weapons and custom weapon builds. Due to our limited production capacity, we can't provide enough weapons for the alpha test version. As a result, we want to focus on perfecting the few weapons we initially created, prioritizing quality over quantity. Yes. Yep. A smaller game that works as opposed to a bigger game that's a complete mess. I'm glad to let you know through months of hard work, we finally completed the custom weapon build system. You can totally expect a bunch of new weapons in the next test event. Sick. What's up with weapon recoil? Gun feels is one of the most important factors that affect the entire gameplay. It's pretty hard to adjust gun feel to meet everyone's expectations. Wild Assault is divided to be a fast-paced TPP shooter with balanced gun feel, smoothness, and wiggle room for character abilities. There are not many similar products in the market. I don't think there's any. Not that I'm on top of all these games and stuff, but I don't think there are any. I think you're making something unique here that we could use as reference. There are many factors that affect gun feel, such as visual effect smoothness, sound animation synchronization, bullet trace fine-tuning, and impact feedback. We need to adjust the gun feel carefully based on player feedback. So the first thing we need to do is reduce certain weapons' recoil, keep optimizing the gun feel based on the suggestions we collected during alpha test. Also, as I mentioned above, there will be new weapons in the next test for you. Enjoy. Hope to see you again in beta. And please give us more feedback on weapons. Okay, now we're getting into characters. We've got quite a lot to talk about, man. But we will speak on it. Do you think some of the abilities cast time's too long? Character abilities gameplay has always been our focus. I mean, Wild Assault is a hero shooter. After all, that's poor reading by me. Just like the 3C, smoothness, coordination, and abilities between abilities and shooting combat is also an aspect we've been striving to improve. However, some abilities do require a certain cost to cast to ensure overall gameplay experience and balance between characters. Some abilities need to take effect immediately, while others might require an appropriate cast and cooldown times. We know you're not happy with Vladimir's E and Jack's ultimate. We'll further adjust related cast and cooldown times based on feedback from the alpha test. Thanks for emphasizing those issues. Yeah, stuff like this, it just takes tweaks over time, doesn't it? You look at, I mean, I speak more from experience in fighting games, but you look at how certain characters are maybe buffed and debuffed over time. It's like an ongoing process for these sort of like live service games. Vladimir's too weak, and Jack is too OP. When Vlad was released, he was indeed too OP. We've actively responded to everyone's feedback and made some nerfs. However, upon reviewing the results, everyone might have gone a bit too far. During the alpha test, we also received many suggestions regarding Jack. You all made us realize that Jack is way too OP, and E doesn't feel right. Balancing characters is a long-term task, and as development progresses, new characters will also affect the actual preferences of current characters. Additionally, considering the certain size of our studio, it's challenging for us to create new characters and adjust the current ones simultaneously. When we have enough characters for the beta version, we will make adjustments to all the characters as a whole. Please keep providing suggestions for new ideas for characters. We'll read them all, and thank you. Sick. Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, you can't prioritize on just like get the nuts and bolts of your game there, and then when you've got that, when you've built up this foundation, then start doing the tweaks, because you can tweak the beta, then add a new character, you got to retweak everything, or add a new thing and you got to retweak everything. So the kind of reactionary urge to like fix that sort of balancing now is getting up like chasing your own tail, and with a small studio it's going to neglect efforts from other places. I like what I'm reading, man. These guys seem switched on. Not that I'm the authority to judge, you know what I mean? But these guys seem switched on. Some abilities range identification is clear enough. Yes, I'm talking about Marquez's ult. Back in the pre-alpha version, Ryan was not in the character lineup. We hoped that Marquez ultimate could somehow function as a smoke grenade as well. Now that Ryan is here, we just Marquez's ultimate visual effects. The ability should focus on poisoning and have minimal impact on visibility. I remember we adjusted Marquez's ultimate visual effects several times. At first, the visual effects density was too high and affected visibility, so we toned it down a bit. Then players told us the gas was too faint to see clearly, so we adjusted it back a bit. Finally, we found the VFX density varies on different graphic settings, and we unified the VFX. I'm not a game developer, but as like an engineer, I can relate to that. I can relate to that fully. And they're being so upfront about this, which is sick. Right now, Marquez Ultimate VFX may not have reached the perfect level yet. We'll continue to optimize it. If we cannot achieve the device experience, we'll try something else. Game modes. Oh, you can make new game modes. First of all, we apologize for keeping everyone playing the same game mode over and over and over. It hasn't been easy. More game modes coming for sure, with Conquest mode being one of the main game modes. We're also working on several new modes that you might be familiar with, like the Breakthrough mode. We're also brainstorming several lighter mood games for the final release. That's still a work in progress, and who knows, you might find them interesting after long hours playing the intense game modes. Feel free to give suggestions what game modes you'd like to play in Wild Assault. What about Shooting Range Training Zone? I would appreciate this. As a guy who's just trying to learn how to use a keyboard, right? Who's been like pulled into this, like, I'm primarily a console gamer, but you're like, hey, you've put your furries on the computer. I'm trying to adapt here. So this sort of thing would be sick. We've received a lot of suggestions on the Shooting Range / Training mode. I'm glad to let you know that we're already working on it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. With the new Shooting Range / Training mode, you'll be able to get familiar with all the weapons and characters' abilities. This mode will give you a little space to build your own Wild Assault tactics. So sorry, it's not tactics. For me, it's just learning how to move. Though I did get one kill streak with Marquez, and I was like, I feel good. So sorry to have kept you waiting, because the studio is extremely short of manpower. It makes sense. Hope we can get it done soon. By the way, there's going to be an instructor in the training mode. Guess who he / she is. It should be me. It should be Rex the dog. It should be me. I want to play with my friends. It's going to be a custom match mode. Just like the Shooting Range, custom match is one of the most popular functions players have been asking for during the alpha test. We plan to release the Shooting Range first, to have a place to try things out in Wild Assault. I'm afraid that the custom match will come later than you expected, since it involves a lot of work. Based on our evaluation, creating custom match mode is not easier than creating 2 new game modes. So we decided to focus on new game modes for now. Okay. But custom match will come eventually. Again, sorry to keep you waiting. Transparency. Balance. I'm new to Wild Assault and I don't want to play with pros. Will you improve matchmaking? Hey, I suck! Hey, this is Rex the dog telling you, I suck. I'm okay. I can go in and get killed by the pros over and over, but it would be nice. Our brand new personal score-based matchmaking system is almost ready. Unfortunately, we don't have the chance to finish it in the alpha test, and we apologize for that. The personal performance-based matchmaking system will be available in our next test event. We hope you'll enjoy it. Hacking. How will Combat Cat, a small studio, tackle the issue of hacking? That's a great question, isn't it? To be honest, we've already spotted several hacking cases during the alpha test. It's both bad news and good news. We've been cautiously collecting feedback and hacking samples from community reports during the alpha test. Moving forward, we will continue to enhance our hack direction ability. When it comes to hacking, we will certainly not slack off. We plan to implement a new anti-hack system, as well as a new in-game hacking report system and vote kick system. We need both tech methods and player reports when it comes to anti-hacking. Do feel free to report any abnormal behaviors immediately in the next test so we can take action in time. Finally, I would like everyone to know that Wild Assault is committing to providing players a healthy, fair, and safe gaming environment. We adopt a zero-tolerance attitude towards any form of hacking. We promise to crack down on all forms of hacking, and we also call on players to abide by the TOS. Please say no to hacking and do not let it ruin the game we love. Thank you for your understanding and support. Sick. This is great. This so far is great. Performance. Performance is one of the most critical issues we're facing at the moment. Over the past 6 months, our game engine has worked day and night to ensure stable performance. Even after adding a large amount of content to the game, in fact, we even managed to noticeably improve performance through the last few builds. However, we're still far from performance goals. Although we're a small team, we're not afraid of challenges. The alpha test that ended earlier has provided us with more detailed insights into players' PC specs and frame rates. Please allow us some more time, and we will keep optimizing the game's performance to meet everybody's expectations. Bugfix. We've already received over 1,000 bug reports during the alpha test. We've already fixed 800 of the total bugs spotted. There are 200 waiting to be fixed currently. Thank you so much for your bug reports. They've helped us a lot with polishing the game. Some players even managed to help us fix bugs that are very difficult to reproduce, such as the issue where players can't move or fire if Vlad's E overlaps with Haoyang's Q. We couldn't have fixed this with many bugs without your help. Much appreciated. It's not easy for a small studio to pick 1,000 bugs, but not impossible without your help. More thoughts. I've noticed many players main 1 to 3 characters during the test. Inspired by that, I've added a character building related system to the dev plans, hoping that with such a system, players will be able to have more communication and interaction with the characters they like. I'm so happy to receive a lot of community design character concepts during the alpha test, while it's designed to be a play co-created by Combat Cat Studios and Loving Community. From now on, we release more lore and character stories for you to keep brainstorming on the characters you'd like to see in Wild Assault. That's cute. And that's the crux of a hero shooter. The hero shooters, you get the community to fall in love with the characters, and you've got a head start by just making them furries, right? But if you can keep developing and do meaningful things like that, but not let it hardcore get in the way of the development of your game, sick. During the alpha test, you might have noticed our studio members in Discord channels, bug reports and suggestion threads, and even in streamers' chats. It might be hard, but we'll do our best to keep getting involved in the community. Wild Assault is a game made by the community and for the community. Thanks so much for your love and support. No, but I mean, it's the dudes who make it. You're the guys who make it, right? Originally, we planned to invite 100 players to the alpha test, but I'm getting 40,000 in total. It was way beyond our expectations, and we could never thank you enough for all the love and support. Huge thanks to all the test players, community members, fan art artists, and Twitch streamers. We couldn't have gotten this far without you. That is sick, man. That like kind of report, that Q&A that they've given there is like so transparent. It is so honest. It's so like, yeah, that thing sucks and we're trying to fix it, or yeah, we totally want to do that, but that comes after this, this, and this. I think with that sort of, I think the game's already really fun in the state it's in at the moment, and I think with this sort of clear enthusiasm and work they're putting into the project, I think this is something that can grow quite significantly. Yeah, and it's something I'd like to it's something that's making me want to get better at the using the PC and playing PC games. But yeah, so that was just a little bit of my impressions after playing this for, 4 and a bit hours. And my opinions and how my opinions, apply to the kind of feedback that the developers have been given. It's this test's gonna end, but I'm gonna keep following this game for real, man. Like when it comes back from the next test and when we eventually get to full release and whatever, I'm gonna keep following this game and see what's going on, because I think this has a really bright future. And I think that whole, you remove the kind of like cool sort of like skins that we sort of interested in, and you just get to, okay, it's like a third-person shooter, but you can like run on all fours and transition into combat. I think that's something just like really sick and really unique, removing everything else, because just that like ability for like for mobility and how that might go and how it might progress into other things is really, really pretty damn cool. But yeah, I will catch you all soon, and hopefully we'll see a lot more things from Wild Assault when it's ready, right? When it's ready. So let's not rush these things. I'll see you guys all later, and bye.